In the far Russian province where time stopped decades ago, people struggle to survive by eating what many would consider inedible. The potato is not just a vegetable there, it is the foundation of life, the salvation that keeps more than one family sane and alive. They are boiled in water without salt, baked in ashes, or even bitten raw, day after day, without variety, without choice. When children ask, "What is for dinner?" the mother replies, "The same as yesterday, potatoes." And in her voice there is no longer shame nor hope. Potatoes are kept in mounds, buried in the ground so they can last through the winter, and not rot before their time, before the next hungry months arrive. Cabbage is the second queen of poverty, cheap, tough, smelling of bitterness and survival, eaten raw, pickled, stewed, or in soup without meat. Sometimes it is boiled with salt and water, sometimes mixed with the last scrap of old fat, but it is always too little for anyone to feel full. People eat clear borscht, as they say with irony, because it is water with salt, sometimes with onion, but more often without, a soup that only pretends to be soup. When there is nothing, bread is made from just flour and water, without yeast, without taste. Hard as stone, but calories matter more than flavor. Such flatbreads are baked on a dry pan, without oil, without anything. Hard bites, twisting children's teeth, but they eat because they must. If someone gets hold of a piece of lard, it is cause for celebration, because a spoon of pork fat on such flatbread is a luxury unknown for months. When there are no vegetables from the garden, they go into the forest, where nettle, sorrel, and wild garlic wait, turned into a green paste. It is not pesto, it is a paste born of necessity, boiled in water, sometimes with sunflower oil, if it is not already molded in the bottle. In villages, children eat porridge cooked in water, without milk, without sugar, sometimes even without salt, just a warm mass to fill the stomach. There are no breakfasts or dinners, there is one meal a day, and porridge on water can stretch for 4 days, because there is no more. In winter, when water freezes in buckets, soups are made from whatever can be scraped from the cellar, often just hot water with a bay leaf. Herring is a holiday when it can be bought on discount. Salty as hell, stretched over 5 days so every household member gets a bite. No one complains that it is tough and oversalted. In the mouth, it still spreads like a luxury unseen since the first snow. Fish from the river are caught with nets, sometimes at night so no one sees. Even the smallest are valuable, cooked whole, with heads and guts. There is no filleting, no seasoning. Everything goes into the pot with water and salt, sometimes with a potato if there is still one left. For dessert, if one can call it that, children get bread soaked in tea, soft, warm, somewhat sweet, but only in imagination. Sugar is not added, because there is simply none. Tea itself is a luxury, drunk sparingly, brewed from the same leaves several times. When the pantry is empty, there is only tallow left, chunks of old animal fat eaten like butter, just so something greasy reaches the stomach. Borscht there looks real, red, thick, fragrant, but one spoon is enough to understand. There is not a gram of meat in it. In this version of borscht there is no protein, no sour cream, no broth, only water, some vegetables, and a spoon of concentrate, diluted to the edge of despair. The soup looks better than it tastes, but all that matters is that it is warm, that it fills the stomach, and that children stop crying from hunger for a while. Milk does not exist. Milk is a luxury unseen in those villages for months, its smell remembered like something from childhood. Butter? Someone last saw it on a table at a cousin's wedding 3 years ago, and even then it was spread like gold. Children do not know the taste of yogurt or cheese. Powdered milk is sometimes a delicacy, but no one remembers where to get it anymore, as village shops stand empty. Sugar is a dream, When it appears, it is sprinkled carefully, bravely like medicine, only into tea and only on special occasions. Many parents keep a jar of sugar in a cupboard under lock and key and use it once a month to sweeten life, if only for a single teaspoon. In summer, the forests become the pantry of the poor. Children pick berries, women gather sorrel, and the elderly bring handfuls of mushrooms, if they can still walk. Instead of tea, kettles are filled with raspberry leaves, currant twigs, or dried herbs, collected in summer, hidden like treasure for winter. Real tea is so rare that sometimes it is carried in a little bag from a neighboring village, brewed once, then another 3 times without taste. Meat is a memory. When it does appear, it comes from hunting, and more often from a neighbor who shot something in the forest and sells a piece for a carton of cigarettes. More often, it is old, sinewy meat preserved in salt, boiled for hours until it becomes edible, or almost edible. In some villages, meat is eaten once a month, if one is lucky, and then the whole family sits at the table as if celebrating New Year's. Cheap supermarket meat from the city arrives here past its expiration date, bought for pennies or taken from waste piles as long as it is not yet moving. Some have friends in cities who carry expired goods out the back of the store. Such packages save entire families. Soup made from a bone is everyday life. An old beef bone boiled for 3 days until it gives up all it has left, even if it is only a shadow of taste. The bone is taken from the pot like a relic, scraped to nothing, then placed into the next pot, boiled again with cabbage and onion. Eggs are only there if someone keeps hens, but not everyone does, because grain is expensive, and foxes do not sleep, so eggs are rarer than meat. No eggs means no protein. Children grow slowly, often sick, with deficiencies in everything that in a city shop is taken for granted. Vodka is sometimes more important than food, not because someone wants to drink, but because they want to forget, to warm themselves, to escape hunger for a moment. Some sell their last flower to buy a bottle, and though it sounds like tragedy, for them it is a choice between pain and momentary numbness. Vodka does not solve problems, but it becomes the only medicine, not for the body, but for the mind. Because how long can one watch hungry children? In these villages, no one speaks about calories or vitamins. They only say, "Will there be something to eat today?" And that is the whole of life. For people from the cities, this world is invisible. But drive 100 kilometers into the forest, and you arrive in another Russia, a Russia of hunger. In such a Russia, life is constant waiting. For a potato, for a bone, for the day when something will change, though no one believes in it anymore.